I'm Rob Whiten from the Innsmouth Book Club. Join me and my fellow guide John Chadwick as we take you on a fortnightly tour of Innsmouth. We visit places such as the Picture House, the Library and Innsmouth Museum to discuss all aspects of weird fiction, whether it be book, film, music, TV or art. As well as that, we stop over at the Gilman House to have a chat with a resident guest. That includes authors, artists, musicians, in fact Lovecraftian creatives of all types. You can find our free shows on Patreon, and there you can also sign up as a patron, which brings you bonus content, plus a monthly PDF copy of Innsmouth News, which features articles, author spotlights, all the latest news and reviews, and more. You can find us at patreon.com/InnsmouthBC. We hope to see you soon, because remember, Innsmouth isn't just a place.
In Legacy Door, a lurker from space casts a shadow over time.
We opened our eyes upon the human world. We found ourselves lying on an especially yielding bed in a room displaying scattered relics of their shallow past, tied together by more recently produced items meant to blend with the relics. Typical.
A sensitive journalist dreams of unknown lives.
It seems like every time I close my eyes, they get stronger. I can't even say the last time I had a normal sleep, let alone a dreamless one.
An outspoken lawyer defends the suspect in an unspeakable crime.
And that client was Jonathan Strauss, held for the murder of his daughter Abigail and her companion Harrison Reese.
And a stalwart investigator tries to drag it all into the light.
Some of the Reeses and the Strausses have been involved with something that seems to include an obsession with bloodlines and longevity for at least decades.
Legacy Door is a weekly cosmic horror mystery podcast. An ensemble of actors tell a story, also available in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook. Available now.
Hey everyone, it's me, DB Spitzer, once again to talk about the Cthulhu Mythos. Hope you're all doing well today. Hope you're surviving the heat. It's a hot time in the old town tonight. Yeah, how are you two doing surviving the heat? Super good.
Barn chores are much slower in the heat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is.
All right. I've been busy. I've been running around doing stuff. This weekend, I don't have to be at a festival. I don't have to sleep on the ground somewhere. I get to sleep in my own bed and don't have to sell anything to anyone. And yeah.
I'm busy this weekend, but it's just like fun things. So
nice.
It's
very cool.
Good times. Tonight I'm actually going to see that Fathom Events presents the Close Encounters of the Third Kind in the big screen.
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That is one of my favorite all-time movies.
I am so hyped to see it. I saw it when I was a little kid, and it really scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Spielberg. Yeah, I remember we saw it in a drive-in, and it came out, 79, 78? So it was whenever that came out. And the part that scared me, and this is Spielberg's genius, is that scene where the mother's going through the house after the alien went through.
Yeah.
That and the actual abduction of the kids. Although I had a friend, I said, "Hey, we're gonna go see it. I'm gonna watch it and get the." It was back when I rented the DVD. He said, "We're gonna see this movie. It's a great movie," and he said, "Well, will it be okay if I didn't see Close Encounters of the First and Second Kind?"
Yeah, fun stuff.
Okay, one last thing, and then we'll get on the show.
Yeah.
You know who coined the term Close Encounters?
No.
J. Allen Hynek, who was an astronomer who became basically the top UFO researcher. And he's the guy in the movie with the beard smoking the pipe.
Okay.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, that's J. Allen Hynek. He was brought in as an advisor.
Cool. All right. So we're not talking about any aliens right away, but I think we'll be talking about Close Encounter of the third or possibly fourth kind after the break. But yeah, for this first part, we are talking about the father of serpents, YEGG.
So I do have a question. That brings up a question.
Sure.
That I don't think Lovecraft answered. Is YEGG from Earth, or is YEGG an alien?
I think it's a Earth deity, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I read The Curse of YEGG today, actually.
Yeah.
So it's all fresh on the noggin. I feel like the vibe from this is... I have one question, actually, since you two are way more knowledgeable about Lovecraft's work. Is this a later story, or is this a pieced together story? Because
Hand
this
comes up.
What?
Sorry. Ooh, teacher, answer. Pick me, teacher. I'm sorry.
So the reason why I ask is because the vibe of this is so good.
Yeah.
So it's a ghost story. It wasn't published under his name. So Zelia Bishop comes up with the idea.
Yeah.
And so they write 3 stories together. This, Medusa Coil, and The Mount. This is the one that she probably had the most impact into, or input into. We really don't know how much is Bishop's and how much is Lovecraft's.
Yeah.
The idea, though, is hers. When we get to The Mound, Lovecraft's complaining. All she said was she wanted a ghost with no head that turned out to be a time traveler or something. This one, I've heard it argued it's almost co-authored.
I would say that felt like a real response, because honestly, it has such a different vibe than his other work.
Absolutely. And the reason why? He was getting paid. No, honestly, and this is during his starving times. And
so this is his beginning.
Okay. Towards the beginning. I think it was published in 1929 under Bishop's name.
Yep.
So he gets no credit until I think after he died. So yes, I'm kind of sorry that he sort of threw me off there, but yes, he probably had less to do with this than most of his collaborations.
Rad.
Yep.
Sorry, DB, if I stepped on your...
No, not at all. Not at all. You're just saying the same stuff I was going to say, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so I really love this story.
Yeah, the story has a different feel to it. It has a different location, a different setting in general. It takes place over time. It's not just like in these 3 it's it's like, and this is what happened kind of thing.
What I like about it also is that, one of the other things that I like about it, because I like quite a bit about this story, is that it has, I hate to say this out loud, is Southern Gothic feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just because I'm not a super big fan of that, as a genre, but I guess it is its own thing. But this also has not only a Southern Gothic feel, but also has some folk horror aspects, as well as pulling from Native American lore and Mesoamerican lore. Yeah. I really, really like it. It's a really great story.
And my guess, and somebody who knows better will probably call in and complain, my guess is that's Bishop's input.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
And the other thing about the story, because I listened to it too today, and I'd probably been a decade since I'd read it, is 30-40% is a flashback.
Yeah.
Totally. And that's one of Lovecraft's kind of tropian moments where he does the unreliable narrator, or it's I recall this one time and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like a movie.
Yes.
Like how a movie handles a flashback.
What was the name of that Lovecraft story? The Case of Charles Dexter Ward. This is also that kind of same vibe. It's like a memory. Yeah.
And about the same time period.
Oh, hey, no wonder. I really like that story too. Just saying.
Yeah.
When Lovecraft was good, he was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it feels like a movie. It's got a beginning, a middle, an end. It's got interesting characters. There's
women.
I was gonna say there's female characters in it.
Yes.
And it's like what you think and then what you realize and whoa. But yeah, no, it's not like cosmic horror. It's not like this deep time that makes you go, oh my goodness, that's old. It's like, shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have been going there.
Also, this god doesn't strike me as a malevolent god. Like, this god is YIGG seems to be like a, don't mess with my kids and I won't, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
don't
absolutely.
Don't kill
Absolutely.
snakes.
And also provides things for the natives. That's why the natives worship.
I mean, there is that moment of it. There's a little bit of that Uncle Howie. You can't go to the lunch table, go to the dinner table with everybody, as a friend of mine says.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
definitely.
This is seen as one of the more benevolent outer gods.
Yeah.
But it's still alien. It's still alien in that it values snakes over humans.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and if one is to use YIGG for like an RPG, tabletop RPG, writing or whatnot, you can use YIGG in so many ways because snakes are versatile. They don't have to be in the Southwest, you know.
Totally.
There's one where YIGG is part of is the actual true that they're worshiping in a, I believe it's an Oklahoma charismatic snake handlers cult.
Wow.
It's in one of the Pulp Cthulhu stories.
I have seen snake handlers, like faith healer snake handlers, and in person, in the South. I went to a revival with some friends, just curious because they were like, "Yo, dude, these people actually do this," and legit, they hold like snakes above their heads and like do dancing, and it's wild and emphatic.
Huh.
Yeah, and not to insult anyone's belief system, but that's kind of how I see YIGG worship in the stories.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, or also could be like the Church of Set in Conan the Barbarian.
Yes, and so Chaosium has combined.
Wait, Thulsa Doom is a follower of YIGG, or is YIGG?
So I've actually been asked that question.
Yeah.
So got to remember too, in the books, Thulsa Doom is not a Conan character.
No, exactly.
It's
Cole.
Oh, King Cole, yeah. And so our lizardmen do not appear in the Conan stories. They appear in the King Cole stories.
Yep.
And they do not appear in Lovecraft stories. Chaosium, and I love them for it, throw them in the blender.
Yeah.
And it makes YIGG the deity of the lizard people, or the serpent people.
Serpent men.
Yeah. Now, somebody was studying Lovecraft from the beginning. He had asked me, is Thulsa Doom and YIGG? And I think the story's pretty much clear. It's Set. But since there's no real definition of Set in Lovecraft, and Howard doesn't really go too deep, it's possible that Set could be, and this is just headcanon because there's nothing official, an avatar of YIGG.
Yeah.
But as far as Chaosium is concerned, they're pretty much two different deities.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I could see how you could just smash them all up. smash up any snake gods with YIGG.
Yes.
Or serpent gods, or flying serpent gods, or whatever you have.
And that they also is that made YIDHRA one of his wives.
Okay.
Well, that DeBille did in DeBille's stories.
Oh, okay. All right. And we just spoke of YIDHRA the other day.
Yes, we did.
Well, that's cool. So, any closing thoughts on YIGG?
Oh, I haven't read the story The Mound. How important is the YIGG in that story?
I think he's just mentioned.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the same with Whisperer in the Darkness, just kind of a passing.
Yeah, and so it's the same.
Because it's just like the legend stuff. Like he tells that story, right?
Yeah, kind of. So The Mound is kind of a sequel because it's not specifically said, but it's implied it's the same narrator. And not too far away. YIGG comes up. I think there's like pictures of YIGG on the wall, but it's not the main story.
Okay.
But yeah. That's YIGG.
Yeah.
One of the friendlier gods of man, or one of the friendlier gods to man, not of man, of the Cthulhu mythos. So
one last thing I think to add for you out there, go ahead and Google Hugh Rankin's original illustration in Weird Tales for YIGG.
Yeah.
And we see the creature he encounters, and it's just an amazing sort of scary but line art.
Yeah.
Cool.
I remember that. It's a spooky one. All right. So we'll be going from one thing that's kind of scary in the outdoors to another thing that's scary in the outdoors. Totally different biome, but after this, we'll get to the choppa and talk about Predator. All right. Hello, everyone. Gretchen, how old were you when you saw Predator?
Oh my God. Like 12, 11, something like that.
Dave, how old were you when you saw Predator?
My early 20s.
Okay, all right. I think I was about the same age as Gretchen. I watched it on DVD. It was something my dad brought home, and then like he wanted to watch it twice and like had the family watch it.
I saw it in the theater with my dad.
So yeah, this is a very dad movie, in my opinion.
Yes. And I've rewatched it a few times, but this recent watch was particularly funny, and I laughed a lot because it had been at least 5 years.
Sure. So, this is one of my movies, but yeah, what can we say about Predator before we really start to get into Predator? Is it a action movie? Is it a horror movie? Is it like, what is it?
I think it falls into the category of like war horror, like Dog Soldiers and things like that. But I think this was kind of like the beginning of that. As far as not really intentionally creating a genre, but it kind of feels like this was like there's been other war horror films before 1987, but as far as like big budgets and whatnot,
sure,
this one was, I think, like really put it out there. But it's also billed as like a sci-fi horror film too, because you have an alien.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it starts out as an action movie, maybe the stereotypical '80s action movie.
Oh my gosh, the
Sure.
scene with Carl Weathers and Schwarzenegger crossing arms like I got pregnant. I'm just saying. I love that. It makes me laugh so hard. You son of a bitch. I just love it. Love it.
And then I think it goes to horror, and then it goes to sci-fi.
Yeah, it changes as it goes. It's a tricky one to pin down, but yeah, I guess I want to call it. Yeah, I like war horror or action sci-fi. But yeah, no. We're talking, of course, about Predator, 1987. A movie that was written because Rocky had just fought the Russians, and the joke was, what, Rocky's gonna fight an alien in the next movie? But yeah.
Well, I know that Jean-Claude Van Damme was actually billed to be the Predator in this. Like, I knew that from that lore. But it doesn't make it any less glorious, to be honest, because, I mean, either way works for me. I also love Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, and I have seen some of the stills. I haven't seen it, but I'm told that just the picture of him running in the red suit.
Oh, it's just
ridiculous.
It's crazy.
And
yeah, no, him in the red suit just standing around just looks weird.
Yeah. And Kevin Peter Hall, who does play the alien,
yes,
or the Predator, he was trained as a ballet dancer.
Correct.
And that's his huge advantage. Exactly. He's got this gracefulness, like he's from a higher gravity, so he moves in this low gravity differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was underused in Misfits of Science and underused in Harry and the Hendersons.
Did he played Harry?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I mean, I love that movie too. It's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, this movie is great, you guys. I mean, there's like not much bad I can ever say about it. I love Jesse the Body Ventura in it. He's a sexual tyrannosaur. I mean, it's just glorious. Like, this whole film is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, this movie's crazy. Like, this movie came out, and I feel like Predator 2 came out just right after it, like, so fast. But I feel like it was, like, it had been out on video for a while by the time I'd seen it. And then Predator 2 came out, and, like, one of my friends bought me a Predator 2 poster, which is, like, a loadout of all the stuff that the Predator has, you know, in its armory on it. And I was like, this is the best ever. But, yeah. And it was, like, written in the YANYA language. Or, I don't know if I said that right.
YOTH, I believe.
YOTH. Oh, that's right. I had the comic books. I know how to say it.
Yes.
There's comic books for Predator? That's awesome.
Yeah, there was, there was Alien versus Predator, which came out, and I want to say, like, 89, 90.
I saw that.
It was Dark Horse Comics. And, yeah, it was about a bunch of humans working on a colony planet, and, like, predators show up because they're hunting aliens, but they didn't know that there was humans on the planet, or they wouldn't have dumped a bunch of xenomorphs on it. So they're nice enough to, like, try and clean up the mess.
Yes, and the reason why the aliens and predators, I mean, there was that alien head in Alien 2, Predator 2, but the reason why aliens and predators got together, Dark Horse owned both rights.
Yep.
That makes sense. I mean, I don't think it's important. I don't think it's necessary to have them cross their genres. I mean, whatever multiverses, but like, I also think this movie is great on a standalone, and I do enjoy the sequels, but ultimately, this is like the best of the best. I mean, the Prey is really good too.
This is like Terminator. There was no need to make a second Terminator or a third or a TV show or any of that stuff. Predator was good on its own. It was just, such a good standalone film. Like any media divergent of it is not even anywhere near as good as like part of Predator. I mean, it's one of these perfect movies. And in sound design, in everything, it just does such cool things, and special effects, like just all the cool visual effects that they were doing in '87 for this movie, that like now it's like, how did they do that?
Yeah, and we kind of hinted to it, but you know, poor Hall, he was running around in this big, basically plastic red styrofoam suit.
Concrete too.
Yeah, and so, and it was red, so they could overcome it with the green to give that just iconic, not invisibility, but I mean, you say the Predator look, everybody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
And so another sort of trivia is the face with the mandibles.
Mm-hmm.
Stan Winston was drawing the pictures for it. He's trying to get it right. And they was flying to Japan, and the guy next to him says, well, you know, I've always wanted to have an alien with mandibles. And he goes, that's it. Of course, the guy sitting next to him was James Cameron.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
When I was at Monsterpalooza for a festival a few years ago, there was the Stan Winston School had this giant art book of like all the different heads of the like drawings and impressions of this monster, of the Predator. It's pretty rad.
Nice.
I did read there's like a fun little trivia about poor Arnold Schwarzenegger, like having to put on all that mud. They were like, all right, so this is going to lower your body temperature. And he was like, okay, cool. So like, let's have you drink some schnapps to keep your body warm, because he was like shivering.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets drunk, so drunk that they can't shoot.
Oops.
Whoopsies.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny now, but there was a lot of questions whether or not Schwarzenegger could act before this.
Yeah.
You know, in Terminator, he was basically just ran around and be tough. And this is where, okay, now we can act.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they didn't try and find that out in Commando.
No.
No, it was
He was fine.
fire missile launcher.
I do think it's really funny. Jesse the Body Ventura's like gun makes me laugh so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, you know, in real life, you don't carry those guns. They're mounted.
No, I know.
Okay.
Those are mounted weapons.
But it's cool, and it's, I think, the first movie that did this.
Yes.
Made him look real badass.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
It looks so good they had to do it in Terminator 2.
Yeah. And there's that scene too where they're in the jungle.
Yeah.
And they all just open fire for like 2 minutes, right?
Yes.
And that's basically the director. He did it kind of, well, take that, because the studio said you have to have more shooting. So he filmed it this way, and that's the one they accepted.
Yeah.
But they didn't plan on this, but apparently a lot of people who fought in Vietnam said that's exactly what we did.
Wow.
We didn't know where it was. We couldn't see the enemy in the jungle. We just fired like crazy. And it was basically done as a protest scene.
Interesting.
It produces 2 governors and a governor candidate.
Yeah.
So Sonny Landham, who played Billy, he ran as a governor.
Deontay ran for governor of Washington.
Oh, I didn't hear that story.
What's that? I didn't hear what he said. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I made a joke that the Predator ran for the governor of Washington, and then I was going to say on a platform of xenomorph-free Washington.
Pro hunting platform.
It was a dumb joke, But anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's Predator. I mean, it's an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why. This is one of those movies where they don't make them like that anymore, and it's mostly due to, I'd say, safety measures. Like, everyone got so sick making this movie. Everyone had diarrhea, but they were also working out constantly and losing weight and having dumb competitions where who has the biggest bicep and who can work out the most. And Carl Weathers talking about how he had to wake up at 3 a.m. to use the gym because everyone else was hogging it all the time. And yeah, if you can find the documentary about Predator, I highly recommend it. But yeah. Predator.
You also get like Carl Weathers addicted to like cigars from this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind a dude smoking a cigar. It doesn't hurt my feelings. But yeah, like apparently Carl Weathers was like super health conscious, and he was like, he got addicted to smoking cigars because of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, Arnold. That's no good. Smoking's bad, everyone.
Yeah, don't do it.
All right. So, yeah, we've got Predator. We're done with Predator. What have we got coming up next week? I say as I try and look on my computer.
I believe we are going to do Gremlins 2.
Oh, nice.
I think. Or am I?
Yeah, Yithians.
Okay.
Yithians and Gremlins 2. That sounds like a fun time. Yeah, so we'll be talking about them next week, and hope everyone has a good, warm day and gets to find a place cool if it's hot when you're listening to this. Otherwise, what are you complaining about? All right. Thank you all for listening. Check us out on Facebook, on the Instagram, on the YouTubes, and on our website, pgttcm.com. And yeah, you can follow us, you can message us, and all that other kind of stuff. So we'll see you next time. That was just random sounds for no reason. All right, we'll talk to you later, and have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. That was a good episode.
Wow, short episode.
Yeah.